Hey, we're talking about Hawkeye, up next on Geek SA. Do not attempt to adjust your YouTube video. We control the stream. And welcome back to Geek SA. It's Friday and we're having fun. We're back.
Hi.
On hiatus for a while.
Well, yeah, because I was sick. It was my turn to be sick, and I was pretty sure it was cedar fever, but I had been exposed to our son, who was tested positive for COVID. So I went to test. There was no home test. We couldn't find any tests in the city. Luckily, my district gave out tests, so I tested, but then they had problems with the test, with the batch of my test. So then instead of 24 hours, it took like more than 72 hours. So rather than just, expose Aaron and anybody else, we could have done it with just the two of us, but it gets weird when it's just the two of us because
just the two of us.
Well, I'm there like trying to do the controls, and then I'm trying to look at the camera, and I'm trying not to look at him too much and talk, which I'm just like it's a lot for me, and then I think I look like awkward and weird and stuff. So
yeah, we had that problem on our show. That's why I don't do it anymore live.
Yeah. Oh, that's
It's hard. Yeah, it's really hard to like switching cameras and doing all that.
Like,
because I've tried it before, and I was like, I know how to do it, but while I'm doing it and do the show at the same time, it's completely too much.
Like, even now, we've moved my chair more so that you can see my collectibles behind me instead of the Star Wars, so we're trying to give, like, a different view. And so because of the way my chair is moved, Vincent is no longer across from me. He's, like, over this way in the room to me, so I'm trying to talk to you guys, the audience, right? But then I'm interacting with Vincent, so I catch myself and I'm looking over there at him, or Aaron will say something and he's over here, so I'll look over here at him and I'm like, no, I'm supposed to be looking at them. Like, even just those little small nuances, I'm still trying to like get used to and do stuff like that. And I could tell like the last time that we had a show, because Vincent and I are used to playing off of each other, that the less I looked at him, the less he was able to like get my cues and stuff. Which is funny, but it's true, just because we've been married for such a long time that sometimes, we can make a facial expression or something and it'll help the other one remember
this
stuff.
equipment that's in between us, and I don't get to see her every time. I don't react to some of the things that she does on her face, or she doesn't get to react to some of the stuff I do on my face. So.
Yeah, because I don't know what's going on with his face because now he's over here. So it's been interesting to try to do that. See all the things we do for you people. We're trying to make the show interesting and good for you.
Trying to make it better.
We hope you like it.
So we're talking about Hawkeye today.
Yeah, we figured it's been long enough, right? And so at this point, if we spoil it for you, we're kind of not sorry because it's been a really long time. And if you haven't watched it by now, that's kind of on you. So, yeah. So we're going to talk about Hawkeye.
We gave you all the chance.
Because we were going to talk a little bit about Boba Fett, but Boba Fett's not wrapped up yet. So we don't have a full picture of what's going on. And if you're keeping up with it weekly, they kind of dropped...
discussing that before the show.
Yeah.
Just a while ago.
Yeah, because they did drop something in the last show that's leading us to believe that something's going to happen next week. So, I mean, there are definitely things that we could talk about for Boba Fett, but we'd like to keep that until the show is wrapped up so that we can really talk about it, because it gets hard sometimes when we're trying to talk to y'all about stuff and not spoil it for you, because we don't want to do that. As geeks, we hate that. So then we're being all obscure and we don't know.
But we might be stuck on Disney Plus for a little bit.
Yeah. Because Disney Plus.
There's a lot to talk about.
Well, I mean, they pretty much own the universe at this point. And aside from Bruno, who we're not allowed to talk about, we can talk about anything else on Disney Plus.
We don't talk about Bruno?
Yeah, we don't talk about Bruno.
God.
So if you haven't seen anything, let's go ahead and cue up the clip for Hawkeye. So go ahead and check that out.
He says that like I knew where it was.
This is the first Christmas we've had together in years.
I love you guys. I'm making up for some lost time.
Authorities are wondering if the masked vigilante who terrorized the city's underworld is back.
The past has caught up with me.
Should we be worried?
No, it's nothing. I'll be home for Christmas. I promise.
It's the most wonderful time.
When I wore this suit, I made a whole lot of enemies.
You're a Hawkeye.
Who the hell are you?
Some people have actually called me the world's greatest archer.
Are you one of those people?
It's the most wonderful.
Hey, babe, I should be back in a day or two. Hang on a second.
With the kids jingle belling and everyone telling.
Things have gotten more complicated.
It's the most wonderful time of the It's the most wonderful time. Yes, the most wonderful.
This is too dangerous. Definitely not this one.
You don't have to say definitely like that. Holy shit! There are arrows more dangerous than that
It's just some Christmas.
So that was it.
Nice. So now you've seen the whole show. That was pretty much it. That was like the longest trailer ever. What the heck, man? I didn't know that was the one you queued up.
It's like a minute and a half, a little less.
Yeah, it seemed really long. It
So-
gave you a lot of information.
No, I left out a lot of stuff. Left out a lot happened in Hawkeye
Didn't
that
even
I
talk
didn't
about that.
expect.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think I was gonna like it as much as I liked it.
I didn't either. I thought, Hawkeye.
They're just
okay.
like Hawkeye, a big deal. He doesn't have any superpowers.
I mean,
but-
I like Hawkeye, and one of the things I think I liked about Hawkeye is the relationship between him and his wife and his kids, and so then
and
I
the
liked
relation
that
he
spin
had with Black Widow.
with Black Widow. I was gonna get there, and then that spin of now he's this dark, after the blip, because of the blip, now he's this dark person because all of those people that he loved, are gone, and so he lets darkness overtake him, which is kind of, in my opinion, like an Arrow kind of nod in a way. It's like, what is with these dudes that like use their bow and arrow a lot, that they have this dark side? I don't know. I was kind of just getting that, and maybe I was just making that jump by myself.
I kind of got
but
like a Darth Vader vibe off of it.
You got a Vader vibe?
Mm-hmm.
He can't like control his emotions and stuff, so he just goes out and then uses his powers for evil.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I could get that from there too. Oh,
You let me pet you now. You wouldn't.
come here. You got scared? What happened? You were
He's like,
letting
he's
him?
petting me too much now.
I know, right? So yeah, I liked that aspect of his character, but I was like, well, how are they gonna do a whole series about
that's what
this
I
kind of
had.
wholesome guy who's like kind of wholesome, but then he like makes a mistake and then he loses his best friend and he's really sad about it, and I'm like, so how is like,
It
how's that
also gave me kind of almost a Daredevil vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Daredevil from Netflix. Because
Right.
of the fact, because he doesn't have any powers.
right?
He gets hurt really bad.
He does a couple of times, yeah. Which is nice to see, right? Because a lot of the time you think of these heroes and
he's getting older because he's older than everybody else because they blipped out for 5 years.
right.
So
right.
he's 5 years older than the ones that blipped out.
And it was interesting to see him because you kind of knew that he had both of these sides, right? And we're more familiar with the nice guy side, right? And the kind of funny guy side and the friend to Black Widow side and the family guy side. And we see a tiny bit of the dark side after the blip and Black Widow's got to go get him, but they kind of just gave us a hint, right? So it was nice that they used this show to kind of explain to us what was that ripple effect from him having that moment in time, right? And what did that cause? And that even though it caused all of these bad ripples, the cute little girl who becomes his little sidekick, who was like in one of the Pitch Perfects. She was in several of the Pitch Perfects, actually. Super cute. Which they had a really good chemistry together, by the way. I think that was some of what made the show, is the two of them together. It was some of that classic Marvel, like funny buddy cop comedian kind of writing was in there. And then they brought that dynamic together too, right? So then they were playing off of each other and really funny, and she's the kid. It was kind of like what we get with Doctor Strange and Peter Parker in the new Spider-Man movie, right?
Right.
It was like, no, you don't have to call me sir. No, wait, that's really awkward and weird. Yeah, you have to call me sir. It was kind of like that kind of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So they played that really well and did that really well with the two of them. So, I don't know, I liked it. And to see that she was impacted by him, even though he's like a lesser known hero, and she felt like, well, I'm just an everyday person, but I could learn a skill and I could be a hero, right? And so I think that's a message that reaches a lot of us, is we can do small everyday things and maybe bring up our skills or be rich like Batman. No, I'm just kidding. And we could be heroes too. So that was like one layer of message in this very layered show.
So
I felt like.
What was your thoughts on the musical that was kind of laced throughout the entire show?
So I was going to bring that up if you didn't bring it up, because I thought it was hilarious. And the fact that we like waited till the end, and then like we basically got like a whole play out of like one of the songs of the musical, and I was waiting for like, I don't know, for Hawkeye to like shoot them with one of his arrows of like some slime or gunk or something to like envelop them, and nothing happened. And I was like, this would have been a great opportunity.
So this is when the musical is about when they're helping out, they're trying to fix everything in New York when the Avengers are. But there's one extra Avenger there that wasn't there in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Which was, I think they're saying was Ant-Man?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't in the movie. But
he wasn't in the movie.
The musical.
Or was he?
Was he in
wobbly, timey-wimey.
Was he in the musical?
He's in the musical.
He's in the musical, yeah.
Yeah, but, or was he supposedly somewhere
somewhere there, and we just don't see him?
Because he's so small.
I mean, he could have been, right? I mean, that's easy to explain away, so...
Well, he was there when they did the whole time heist.
Yeah.
So somebody must have seen him at some point.
Yeah.
Or he wrote it himself. And wrote himself in it.
He wrote himself in. Or he became popular enough that they added him in to sell tickets to the musical. Mm-hmm. I mean, the musical was just another campy kind of nod to...
But everything that Marvel has been doing in their movies, when they put something in, it means something later. They don't put it in for no reason.
Right.
At least I haven't seen anything that they put in for no reason when you like look at it a second time.
So I'll have to admit that I don't analyze these things that deeply. So I don't know. Like, I guess what you're thinking, that maybe there's going to be another Ant-Man movie and it's going to allude to the fact or tell us something that he was there during that, and maybe.
Well, there's the new Ant-Man and Wasp. Isn't that the quantum realm?
Quantum
Mania or something like that?
Yeah.
So I don't know, because obviously now time travel is possible, so he's done it now, so he can do it again.
Right, and I guess they've got to explain to us what was going on with him the whole time during the blip, so that we know like what was going on with him during all of that. I don't know. I didn't analyze it, because talk about a character who's like not on my radar is Ant-Man. Like, okay, he's all right, but.
See, I have a theory. I don't think it's Ant-Man, even though they say it is. I think it's a trope. I think it's Wonder Man. Because he's an actor, so he would write it himself, and the color scheme is kind of similar to his shirt still. When I first saw him, I thought it was Wonder Man.
But it's a weird symbol on there that I had never seen.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, I don't think it's Ant-Man. but they keep saying it is him. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe they'll explain it. I mean, I guess I didn't think about it. Like, why would they film this whole thing if it didn't have some kind of meaning?
Maybe it was one of the quantum symbols or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. We'll eventually find out.
I mean, maybe it's going to end up being they're going to have some kind of, like, you know, Ant-Man show or something on Disney Plus that they're getting us to. I don't know. I just take them as they come, and I either like them or I don't. I don't try to do all of this like reading into stuff.
What I found really cool were the blips, that 5 years blips. So we find out what actually happens when they came back. They come back to exactly where they were when they left.
When they blipped, yeah.
And then we see that with what's her name?
Elena. Yeah. That was a cool little scene to see her come back.
Yeah.
And she said, I was only gone for a second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's like, you really don't know what happened.
Yeah. Yeah. So for them to kind of get their bearing and stuff, and everybody's kind of moved on after 5 years finally, and then for them to come back and it's like they were gone for a second. Very disconcerting and very confusing, and I waited for a very long time for that final scene between her and Hawkeye to see how much punishment he was going to take, because he does feel the weight of Black Widow's death, right?
Yeah.
But of course he still wants to be there for his kids and his family, and so there's part of you that really wants him to like tell her and convince her.
Like, he won't do it.
Mm-mm.
He didn't do it.
He doesn't for a long time. He just takes the beating. And then you're like, is he going to take the beating but then get to a point and get too far and never explain it to her? And I was like, I hope they don't. I was going to be really ticked off if they went that direction with it. And then he just finally came back and kicked her butt with his, with his talent. So I really liked the way that played out, because I thought that was really true to the character, right? Because he does feel that he deserves that punishment.
For letting her die.
For letting her die. For letting her do that when he was ready, right? He was ready to do that. And he was ready to do that because he owed penance for everything he had done when people were gone during the blip. So again, he's taking a lot of this punishment to atone for what he did for when his family was gone. So I just like that we keep seeing him be true. Like, they wrote very true to that character for me. So that was what I really liked.
The cool thing that I found about that about his character was that just physically, like, he's losing his hearing. He can't hear, which I thought was a really cool thing to have for someone like that, because you kind of have, like, he's just like everybody else.
Yeah.
He's an everyday person.
Right.
Enough explosions, you eventually bust an eardrum.
Right? You get old enough, you're around enough of that, and eventually that happens, and you're human, and so that's okay. And then I liked that they made that connection, and then they brought in a deaf character. So then we got to see a lot of the American Sign Language, and we got to see him, kind of be clumsy through that, but that be kind of a connection between the two of them, where she was like, okay, I see that you kind of understand where I'm coming from in a way, not exactly, but, and so that gave them a link better than, oh my God, our moms have the same first name, shut up.
How do you know that
name? How do you know that name?
Oh, God. Thanks, Zack Snyder.
So apparently, there's a theory that because we see Kingpin, and at that point, Kingpin gets really, he's really big at that time. So Kingpin is there.
I love Vincent D'Onofrio.
So do we. I'm totally going to talk about him in a minute.
So, because we just saw.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that too.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So you're going through and so Daredevil. So Daredevil happened within the blip because there weren't any superheroes around.
Right.
That's the theory.
That's the theory.
Yeah.
That's the theory.
And at that time, that's why the Kingpin got so big as he did, because there wasn't anybody to like prevent him.
Right. He got used to kind of being big man on campus, basically. Yeah.
Or he crushed your head in with a door.
Right. I mean, yeah, there's that too. Like, he doesn't have any problems with those kinds of things.
Nope.
But I love that the continuity again of him from Daredevil to where we see him here in Hawkeye. He's that character, right? He's Kingpin.
Yeah.
He plays it so well.
Such a good actor.
Such a good actor. And he like draws people in, right? He's charismatic and he acts like he understands you and he knows you
and he's doing you a favor.
Doing you a favor, right? And even when you find out that he's done you wrong, you're like, but did he really? But he's like really cool to me, right? He hates everybody else, but he's totally cool to me, right? And then the amount of punishment he can take, just so much, you know, and you're just like, this guy is never gonna go down. Like, he just takes it and takes it and takes it. And he just has this stoic look on his face the whole time, like, you're a bug to me, basically, which I totally love about him, because he's just like, okay, you know, swat this fly away, you know? He's just very larger than life, and he's so good. And so it was funny, because we were just watching Men in Black. We were like, oh, what's something that we haven't watched in a while? Oh, Men in Black. And then we saw him on there, and we're like, oh, so good, like when he's, you know, in the Egger suit. And he plays that so well, like somebody that's in somebody else's skin.
Yeah, like he can't he feels like he's playing something that can't fit in that Egger suit. Like, just like, yeah,
he's so good and so powerful. So I'm wondering, I mean, I haven't read anything because, again, I don't research stuff enough. But I could definitely see Disney Plus doing basically a whole show on him.
But the question is if Echo shot him or not. Because that was the fadeaway shot, was you don't know if she shot him.
Right, you don't know.
So,
but whenever you don't know,
they didn't.
They didn't. They're alive.
Yeah.
They're always alive.
I mean, that is
whenever you, like, just like Squid Game.
That's right. Just like in Squid Game. If you don't see it, it didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
Anakin, leave him.
He's like, well, now I want the attention.
Be nice to Aaron.
But I mean, I don't know. Yelena and Hawkeye, though, not Yelena and Hawkeye. Kate and Yelena was really cool. Their chemistry. I love the fight scene through the building. You hit, ow, that really hurt.
I know.
Kicked me in the stomach. It's like, okay, you're forgiven. They had such good chemistry. I want to see more of them too.
In the elevator, where she's off
trying to push the buttons the entire
pushes
time.
all the buttons.
I so wish I could see her and Natasha again, her and Black Widow again.
Yeah.
That dynamic was like amazing in that movie.
Yeah, and people were, I did see some things, I tried to avoid some of it, but people were saying like, oh, her accent is no good and everything. I thought she was great. Like, I thought she was very convincing.
What about her accent wasn't good?
They were just saying that it wasn't convincing, that she sounded fake.
What about it wasn't convincing?
I don't know.
She was raised as an American.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she wouldn't have like a perfect...
Right, yeah. It was just from her childhood that she had like a little bit of the notation and connotations from that accent.
I thought it was perfect. I was like, that makes total sense.
Yeah, I thought she was great. I liked her a lot. So, and I'm with Aaron. I liked the dynamic between her and Kate and all the fun little stuff, and it's funny because you see it with her and Natasha too in Black Widow that yes, she's like this trained killer, but she's also a kid herself, right? And so then when she's with Kate, yes, I'm a trained killer, but I'm kind of like this girly kid, and you're a kid. And so I kind of relate to you, but I kind of want to take you under my wing, but I kind of have to stop you. Like, so it was all of this mixture of really cute stuff.
The macaroni and cheese.
The macaroni and cheese.
That whole part.
The whole thing was just super, super cute. And you can see them, and they're like fighting, and they're both pulling punches, and they're like, I really want to fight you, because you want to fight somebody to like test your merit, right? But then you don't want to go too far, because they kind of want to be friends with each other, but kind of like not. I don't know. The whole thing was super cute. I super, and that's a big thing for me. And I say this a lot of times if you watch the show. For me, for a show to be any good for me, because there could be holes in the writing and stuff, and I can forgive that because I'll just make stuff up in my own head anyway. But if the dynamic, I do. But if the dynamic between the actors is really good, that'll carry holes in the story for me anytime, right? If I'm getting that good read from them, like Vincent made me watch a lot of Knight Rider over the break, and the acting wasn't good. And the dynamic between the characters is not good. So you find all the holes in the story and all the holes in the action. And you can see when the stunt double doesn't look like him. And you can see all the terrible things.
When there's somebody driving Kit behind the seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see that.
So I know that there are people out there that analyze these shows to the nth degree, right? And they're looking for every single flaw, and every time there's a scene where somebody was holding a cup, and then in the next scene they're not, and then in the following scene they are. You know, people are looking for all of that stuff. I don't see that stuff if the dynamic is good. If I'm enjoying the characters, enjoying one another, if that makes sense. Right. Yeah. So I think that this show was really successful.
Yeah, you felt that throughout the entire series.
Yeah, this was really successful. And there were, like the thing with the whole watch that he gives his wife at the end.
Oh, Mockingbird, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, what? Like, I didn't even know about that. I was like, she's part of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Like, what the heck? And, like, I'm like, wait, you know, because I haven't read anything about Hawkeye. Like, he's Hawkeye. Like, I don't care. He's not a Ninja Turtle. What do I know? You know?
You don't live in a sewer. Who cares?
I know. You're not radioactive, and you didn't grow up in a sewer, and you don't like pizza? Out of here.
You even have a hockey stick.
There's 4 of you, and all of you like the same chick. It's not weird at all.
Not at all.
No. Yeah, so I didn't know anything about that. So even like just little subtle things like that.
Yeah.
And just the way that they kind of played it for us, you were like, oh, okay. I see what you did there. That's nice. That's nice. I like it. You know, because you don't know the whole time, like, this watch and like why and who cares, right? Yeah. And you're like, okay. Yeah. So, and then I liked the way that they made you believe that her potential would-be stepdad was like a bad guy.
Oh, swordsman.
Oh.
And then
he's just kind of like a buffoon.
And he's kind of just an idiot. But for a while you're like, oh, he's bad, you know, he's got like ulterior motives. No, he's just an idiot. And it's really cute that he's an idiot, and he's an idiot that thinks he can use a sword, which is even cuter because then he gets his moment, you know? So I think this show was a lot of that too. It was like people getting their moments, right?
Yeah.
And getting to kind of live out their little fantasies or whatever. So I don't know. I really enjoyed it. What is he doing?
The mom kind of upset me. I didn't like the mom.
I didn't like the mom either. And Swordsman, I felt like they really did just kind of downplay him. Because he's a villain. And it's like, oh, okay, you're just a goofy trope. Maybe it was funny. It really was. I did like the one bro who was trying to like thank her for the advice he gave. She's like, Kate, wait, thank you for that advice. Why are you pointing a gun at me, Vin? Well, I mean, I still gotta shoot you.
I've still gotta shoot you, but thanks, because you helped me with my girlfriend, right?
Yeah. Bro, those guys were so dumb.
Those guys are super dumb. But that was, again, another cute little thing in there where it's like, how do you not like Kate, right? Like, who can just not like Kate? Well, so I didn't know, Aaron, so you know a little bit more about this apparently. So her supposed stepdad, he's supposed to be a villain?
Yeah, he is actually a villain in the comics.
Oh,
that
okay.
is a villain of Hawkeye, and kind of like he is good with the sword. He fights pretty much those like Shang-Chi and all those guys kind of thing. Like the street level heroes, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is actually a super villain. I would say more mercenary, like Deathstroke maybe even. But yeah, I was like waiting. Me and Robert were both waiting for him to turn, and then we just get the fight at the end where he's just fighting the tracksuit mafia, and it's like, oh, he hasn't turned yet. So hopefully, if Kingpin's alive,
then maybe we'll see something later that ends up taking him, or maybe he didn't feel like it was his time to come out and show himself at that point.
Or
like
it's just a different universe.
Yeah,
it's a different universe. That there's all kinds of different things that it could be.
You know, Kingpin does need muscle, so Bullseye and Swordsman would be a good team up right there.
So is Swordsman somebody that he meets when he's the Ronin?
That much I don't remember. I think it's before Ronin, though. I think it was when he was with the Thunderbolts.
Okay.
So that would have been way before the Ronin. That would almost be when he's still a villain, technically.
Right.
Because Hawkeye started off as a villain and then becomes a hero.
So, yeah, parallel to kind of the Arrow type thing, right?
Yeah, because it's like the Thunderbolts were founded to be like villains that were not too evil, that they could kind of be a hero, and then the Thunderbolts, he joined them and he was like, hey, people are cheering for me, they like me, and he starts becoming more of a hero.
Oh, okay.
It was like one of his original origin stories. I'm sure they've changed it 10 times by now.
Oh, right, yeah, obviously. So then that'll be interesting then if they do come around and do another season of that, if we get to see maybe that character change and develop. I'll have to keep my eye on that, because I liked him as that side character of like, is he bad? Is he not? I like those moments where you're where you're not quite sure. You're like, well, is he bad? He seems really bad.
Never said anything if this was going to be a one-off or if they were going to do a second season. I haven't heard anything about that. So.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything. I would guess they're going to wait and see like what the ratings were like and everything, and then if they decide that they want to do other one-offs of other shows, because I'm wondering if they
ended great. It ended on a high note.
Yeah.
So they could end it there
and just be done with it.
Just be done with it, and then they just move on to the other shows, and maybe have Kate join in there or Hawkeye.
Well, what I'm thinking is they're gonna have to do something to maybe show us. I'm thinking they're gonna have to do something with Black Panther, because Chadwick Boseman is dead. They're gonna have to, maybe he's gone during the blip, right? Mm-hmm. So somebody else becomes the Black Panther while he's gone.
Well, was offered to the other.
And then he comes back and maybe he, says, okay, well, y'all have been doing well with this Black Panther, or I'll go do diplomatic stuff or something. So so they kind of will use CGI of Chadwick Boseman or something, and then just kind of write him off so that we can transition to another Black Panther.
All right. So here's my thing on it. You know how they kind of did the same thing with Doctor Strange, where he's no longer Sorcerer Supreme because he was out during the blip?
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll do that kind of same thing there, that somebody had to take over for him as...
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
I literally just said
But
that.
I'm doing the parallel for Doctor Strange.
But you acted like that was a unique idea to you. I just said that.
I'm talking about the parallel that they did.
But don't you think that would be a good show to have, to give us that like kind of fill in before they started doing some more Black Panther movies? Was do a Hawkeye-esque type show, a WandaVision-esque type show that shows us kind of who this new Black Panther is in a show version, and then give us a movie?
This depends on who they guess the next Black Panther is, because a lot of the rumors are it's gonna be the sister. And
that would be great.
Be the Black Panther, so you already have the establishment from her.
If it's her, then it's already established. You don't have to see that.
Be the other tribe leader.
Oh, Umago. I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
because he was offered this stuff.
Yeah.
At one point during the last movie.
So, but I haven't done any research, so I don't know what's next, like in the Marvel lineup of shows on Disney Plus. I don't know what they're coming out.
Moon Knight's next.
And that's something I know zero about.
The only thing I know about it is somebody here in San Antonio basically tried to make their own comic book, but it was like a redo of Moon Knight, and so they basically stole everything from it and like were trying to make their own comic. Seemed like it was their own comic because Moon Knight is like a lesser known person.
That sounds like it's gonna not do great once it gets somewhere because Marvel's like, wait.
It never got anywhere because everybody they were finally like, dude, this is really stupid. Like you're stealing basically.
Because the person doesn't know comics.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, and I don't know enough. I know a little.
This person think they do.
I know zero about Moon Knight. Like absolutely zero.
The only thing I know is he's basically, if you mix Punisher and Batman together, you get Moon Knight. So imagine billionaire, lots of money, martial artist like Batman and detective, but psychotic, crazy like Frank, and doesn't mind putting a bullet in you and walking away.
Well, that sounds just a lot like Batman as Batman.
More Thomas Wayne, yeah. Like if Thomas Wayne became it. Where he doesn't mind killing people either. But yeah, he's either schizophrenic or dissociative disorder because they don't know if he's just crazy or if he actually hears the voice of a Egyptian god in his head. Or he could just be psychotic.
Alrighty then.
So
good times. Yeah. Good times.
That's about.
And that's going to be the next show? Okay, yep. Fun time.
Ethan Hawke's in it.
Well, there you go. Nothing like Ethan Hawke.
That's I forgot the main guy's name. The guy who's playing Moon Knight, I forgot his name. Oscar something, I think.
I don't know. I haven't done any research into it. Like I said, I have been lax on my research.
Yeah.
Well, I've been trying to get well, so I've just kind of laid around and been like, I hate the world. And then I was out of school long enough that I was like, oh God, I gotta grade stuff. So I've been like,
hundreds for everybody. Oh.
No.
Oh.
Miss People not giving hundreds, no money. Nope. No, my kids do a really good job. Actually, a lot of them got hundreds. Some of them got 105. Actually.
See.
I did really good. I was very proud of them.
It's funny.
Good teacher.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess we'll see where Disney goes with it. I'll just ride the ride whenever they want to put it out, and it's either going to be good or bad, or I'll be indifferent. Sometimes it's nice to have these lesser known characters because you don't have any expectation of what they'll be. So if it's not like super great, you're like, meh, it's okay. I don't mind it too much,
I just want to know what happened with the owl that took the guys away. He's like, I don't know. I need to ask Scott. Oh, there goes that problem.
There it goes.
That would solve itself.
Well, so science teacher fact: owls swallow their meals whole.
Oh, so they did.
Yeah. So if you've ever had an advanced high school or a college level class, you get owl pellets and then you dig through them and it's all the fur and the bones. And if you're real gentle and you excavate like an archaeologist, you can find the whole skeleton of the animal that they ate before they pooped out all of their fur and bones.
Oh, wow.
True story. True story. And you can actually glue it all together and you can like have a articulated taxidermy skeleton of like a rodent.
So do they stay small forever then? So like, would he poop out little like human skeletons after he eats those guys?
Well, they were in the vehicle though, so I would think maybe he would try to eat them, and then he might have to cough them up like a fur ball or something. You wouldn't think he could eat the metal.
True. Unless he could, can they tear it apart? You think? I wonder.
Well, they do have pretty good sized beaks and talons, so they can do some tearing and like gobbling and stuff if they wanted to. So
I'm curious.
Maybe he could tear it apart and then just suck them down whole if he could get them out, or like if they tried to climb out like real stupid and they were like, oh God, let's climb out, he's gonna eat us.
Keep it PG, Colleen.
You're terrible. You're terrible. Wants to know. You're a terrible person. You're a terrible person.
So yeah, that was Hawkeye. I really enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it, it's definitely something you should see. We told you a lot.
I mean, even Aaron liked it, and like Aaron knows a lot about geek stuff, and he likes to pick everything apart. He's one of those people, and even he liked it. So you should totally check it out.
It was fun. I was just happy to see Vincent D'Onofrio. I won't lie.
Yeah, he's awesome. Just like when Matt Murdock is in Spider-Man and the whole crowd goes wild. They're all,
oh my God, and we saw that a second time.
Because, hello.
And nobody cheered at the.
Maybe because it was a lot of people's second times, or by the time those people saw it, they didn't really understand Spider-Man at all, and I didn't want to be the only one cheering, so I didn't cheer.
Just when you yell at them, you know who he is?
Do you even know who Murdoch is? And then I cried in all the same spots, like I'd never seen it before, and I was like, oh God, I'm crying again. Why? Oh, he saved her. Oh God.
Are you okay?
Best movie, best movie ever. So go watch Hawkeye. Go watch Spider-Man. Go watch them twice.
Yeah, definitely. So, like I said, check it out, Hawkeye. It's on Disney Plus. But thanks for checking us out. I had a really good time. I'm Vince.
I'm Colleen, and thanks to Aaron.
Geek Out SA.